Good evening, everybody. I would like to start today's video off by reading an ancient Greek scripture that was found in what archaeologists are calling a influencer temple. So, without any further ado, here it is. This is the first time it has ever been heard by public ears before. It is everyday bro with the Disney Channel flow. 5 mil on YouTube in 6 months, never done before. Past all the competition, man, PewDiePie is now. Team 10, Jake Paul's infamous hype house that, to my knowledge, just seemed to disappear from existence. Like seriously, I remember everybody talking about this thing when I was in middle school, and then fast forward to a few years later, and not only do I not hear about it anymore, but Jake Paul didn't even capitalize on it with like a Team 10 huge drama not clickbait video. It just seemed to fizzle out of existence. That is until today, because I'm going to figure out exactly what happened to Team 10, but before we do that, we first have to figure out what exactly Team 10 is.
Love you, big bro. I love you, big bro.
I'm sure many of you remember their infamous song, It's Everyday Bro.
It's everyday bro with the Disney Channel flow. 5 mil on YouTube in 6 months, never done before. Past all the competition, man, PewDiePie is next. Yes, I can rap, and no, I'm not from Compton. England is my city.
Now, if you're like me, this is the only piece of content you've ever seen from Team 10. But despite that, you can still pretty easily pick up that this is some sort of influencer hype house type of thing. And I mean, it has Jake Paul in it, so it must be good. But to get a proper definition of what Team 10 is all about, I headed over to their website, where the front page is literally just a textbook definition of Team 10. And the rest of the tabs either don't work, or they lead you to a picture of Jake Paul looking like an edgy preschooler. But anyways, back to the definition. Team 10 is the first ever social media label for the talent by the talent. I can barely read the rest of this because of the background. Also, I just want to point out on one of the pages on this website, it says that a new era of Team 10 is coming soon. So I mean, like, you know, Jake Paul, if you're watching this, you know. But in essence, Team 10 was Jake Paul's attempt to be, quote, the Dr. Dre of YouTube. He wanted to find small creators with like a couple hundred followers who he felt had potential, and then through his social media platform, he would grow them to be larger creators. Which, on paper, actually sounds like a really good idea. You know, he was giving recognition to smaller creators by inviting them into this team. But what they don't tell you is that in order to join this team, you had to do a little bit of a contract signing first. You see, he made everyone who joined his house give up 10 to 20% of all of their profits to him for 5 years after joining Team 10, which is a lot of money and a very long time, especially in social media years. And even worse, Jake made everybody give up control of their business emails to him, making him the director of their brand deals, which he often wouldn't even pay to the creator whom he made the deal for. Now you're probably thinking, this Team 10 thing sounds awful. How was this ever popular? Well, the answer is kids. Kids watch this type of stuff. It's just what you would expect. A bunch of dumb influencers jumping off of roofs, pissing off their neighbors. I mean, if this isn't the peak of YouTube, then I don't know what is. But the point here is Team 10 was at their prime. They were on the news, they went on tour, Jake launched a scam, and then it all just disappeared. So what exactly did happen? Well, to figure out exactly what happened, I had to do some deep digging, and by that I mean I had to scroll down a little bit on Google. And it turns out there wasn't really any single event that led to Team 10's demise. Rather, it was a series of progressively worse events that slowly burned Jake Paul's company to the ground, if you could even call it a company. So in order to get the full story, we need to go all the way back to 2016 BT, where we are brought to Jake Paul's initial cast of Team 10 members. You got Jake Paul himself, Niels Visser, Alex Tang, Alyssa Violet, AJ Mitchell, and the Dobre brothers. And you can't forget the CEO of the company, Mr. England is my city himself, Nick Compton. Nick Crompton. Now, I'm fairly certain at one point there was an official Team 10 YouTube channel. I even found a screenshot of this in this video I found while I was doing research, but I for the life of me cannot find it. However, on the bottom of the Team 10 website, I noticed there was a YouTube link. So I clicked on it and it brought me to, I'm pretty sure this is like a podcast Jake Paul runs now. It's called BS with Jake Paul. So my theory is that Jake Paul either unlisted or, God forbid, deleted all the Team 10 videos off of this channel so he could turn it into his podcast channel channel, which means that a lot of the old Team 10 videos are now lost media, which is actually really kind of sad. That's not to say all their content is gone. Their most iconic videos were uploaded elsewhere, but I can't help but feel a little sad that I can't go watch Team 10 if I wanted to. Now, the first member to leave Team 10 left very shortly after its inception, that being Niels Visser. However, he left to focus on his modeling career, so this wasn't any sign of the company falling apart. At least not yet. Shortly after, Tessa Brooks would join Team 10, and she's the beginning of the cast of people I think most people think of when they hear Team 10. Basically, she was the start of the cast of people who would later appear in its Everyday Bro. Next to join Team 10 would be the Martinez twins. However, when they joined, the Dobre brothers coincidentally decided to leave. Now, fans were absolutely outraged about this. I mean, I know I was when I found out about this 5 minutes ago. You see, fans were speculating that the Dobre brothers were leaving because they were jealous of the Martinez twins joining, but the Dobre brothers made a video debunking all the theories.
The real reason why we are not in LA is because we missed our family and we want to be closer to them.
However, this point onwards is when things start to go down the drain, but I just want to make it very clear that I don't think anyone is really at fault in these situations except for Jake Paul himself, because it very quickly becomes clear that Jake Paul just does not know how to run a company. The next hit the group took is when Alyssa Violet was kicked out of Team 10 because Jake Paul accused her of cheating on him. However, Alyssa very quickly proved these claims to be wrong, and in fact, the person who was actually cheating was Jake Paul himself. Alyssa showed Jake to be a very manipulative and controlling person, and I think this is when the public perception of Jake started to go into a more negative direction. However, Jake Paul was not gonna take the hate, because this is when Team 10 dropped their infamous diss track, It's Everyday Bro.
This is Team 10, bitch. Who the hell up flipping you? And you know I kick them out if they ain't with the crew. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You begging for attention, talking shit on Twitter too. But you still hit my phone last night.
And can I just say, I had no clue that It's Everyday Bro was supposed to be a diss track, which I think just goes to show how incredible the lyricism in the song is. However, the diss track didn't really go in Jake Paul's favor because it prompted Alyssa to make a video exposing a lot of the behind the scenes things going on in Team 10, and it was not very good.
So then we move into the Team 10 house and he creates these rules for everyone. If you're not up by 10 a.m. filming, then like you get fined $50 and like you have to pay $50. Like no alcohol at the house, no smoking. Every single guest that you had over had to be approved by Jake. Niels would always ask to have friends over. He's like, yeah, that's fine. But the second I asked to have like a guy over, he would be like, no, absolutely not. And I'd be like, why? He'd be like, I just don't want him here. But then he would have girls over like all the time in front of me. So he has the audacity to release a song basically bullying me, and I'm still not over the situation. You know, these are the lyrics. And you know we kick them out if they're not with the crew. Yeah, I'm talking about you, begging for attention, talking shit on Twitter, but you still hit my phone up, whatever. Like, yes, I was texting him for so long because I still care. I wanted to try to mend everything, to make it all better, because that's the type of person I am. I can't just walk away from a situation. Like, I need some kind of closure.
Yeah. It's really not looking good on Jake Paul's end. Despite this though, Team 10 was at the peak of their popularity. Not all of the attention was good, but I mean, it's just like they say, any attention is good attention. They got on the news for annoying their neighbors. They decided to publicly reveal their address, leading to hundreds of kids showing up to their house unannounced. I think here's where you can start to see the cracks forming in the company, but Jake Paul was not done burning his company to the ground. The Martinez twins would be the next to leave Team 10, and they revealed that Jake Paul was bullying them for their ethnicity, and I think this is when Team 10 just lost all sense of credibility. And remember how I said joining Team 10 also meant giving up control of your brand deals? Yeah, well, the Martinez twins revealed that they were prevented from sending money they earned from a brand deal to their mother because Jake Paul decided to keep the money for himself. From this point onwards, there was a rapid fire of members leaving Team 10. Tessa Brooks, Nick Crompton, Chance Sutton, and with Nick gone, Team 10 no longer really had a good leader to give direction to the group. And somewhat anticlimactically, Team 10 just kind of fell apart from here. There were a few attempts to bring the team back alive, but I think at this point people started to realize that Jake Paul was not the best person. And although Team 10 was a massive failure, I actually think it achieved Jake Paul's one true goal, and that was to make himself a lot of money. I mean, the whole concept actually wasn't terrible. If he truly cared to help these people grow their careers, he could have just like, you know, not taken 20% of their pay. But you know, With Team 10 gone now, I feel like there's a gap in the market that needs to be filled. Someone needs to carry on Jake Paul's legacy. And so that is why I am very happy to announce that I will be launching Team 11, where I take 90% of your paycheck and you get to pay for my car insurance.